With the first part of the 2024 Formula One Championship over, the series arrives in Hungary at the Hungaroring circuit, the venue for this weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix. Scuderia Ferrari, after an excellent start to the season, is facing a very delicate moment, mainly due to the development of the SF24, a car that is not responding on the track in a manner consistent with the data indicated by the simulations. This is the first real moment of difficulty since Frederic Vasseur took the helm of the Maranello team. The disappointing 2023 Formula One campaign has been considered by everyone, both internally and externally at Ferrari, as the result of a technical project born during the previous management, namely that of Mattia Binotto. Simultaneously with the sporting results, the French manager is carrying out a very invasive reorganization of the Ferrari Racing Department, designed according to his functional vision. However, the verdict on the track counts a lot. The aerodynamic update package that debuted in the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya turned out to be a flop. Yet until the eve of the Silverstone round, the team principal of the historic Italian team repeatedly confirmed that there would be no rollback, namely restoring a platform to its point of consistency. Translated into practical language, it means shelving the aerodynamic package of updates brought to the track in Barcelona to return to the Imola specification, essentially restoring a car configuration that provides the same results in both virtual and real contexts. When in the free practice sessions for the British Grand Prix, the pair of Ferrari drivers used different aerodynamic specifications, it became clear that Frederic Vasseur's convictions, staunchly defended in Spain and Austria, gave way to the harsh reality. The SF24 single-seater raced the British Grand Prix with the old aerodynamic configuration, a decision that forced the French manager to a communicative turnaround, indicating the confusion of the number one of Ferrari's sports management. Alongside Ferrari's setback after the triumphant moment on the streets of Monte Carlo in the Monaco Grand Prix, with Charles Leclerc winning the race in front of his home fans and his Maranello teammate Carlos Sainz completing a great double podium finish, rumors of a possible hiring of Adrian Newey by Aston Martin have created a climate of tension around Ferrari. Public opinion is divided between those who believe it is possible to win even without the brilliant English designer and those in the grip of disappointment who find it unacceptable that the legendary car designer is in big blow to the Maranello team. Frederic Vasseur recently admitted that Ferrari is certainly interested in the former Red Bull engineer. Asked about Adrian Newey in a recent interview ahead of the Hungarian Grand Prix, he admitted that he would be the same if they asked him if he was interested in Max Verstappen. The French manager pointed out that he would like to see which team principal would say no to such strong F1 figures like the three-time Formula One world champion or the legendary car designer. However, he emphasized that just being called Adrian Newey is not enough to be immediately successful. Anyone at the top of a hierarchical pyramid must go beyond the resume of the technician they intend to hire, asking important questions as significant as the professional record of the person sought. How could he integrate into the team? What can he offer in the long term? According to Frederic Vasseur, these and other questions must always be considered when a new professional figure of Adrian Newey's caliber is considered for strengthening the technical area. The team principal of Ferrari is fully aware of the impact a prominent figure like the English engineer can have within an organizational structure. However, in any sport, when you have the opportunity to hire a champion, it is the world around them that must be shaped to extract all the added value. Fred Vasseur's comments can be considered as those of someone who necessarily has to bide time before any official announcement or move ahead in case Adrian Newey ends up with what was once Jordan. Another refusal, the umpteenth in over 20 years of courting, would have the taste of humiliation, especially at a time when the top management is sparing no expense. Just think of the salaries that Scuderia Ferrari will guarantee its drivers from the 2025 Formula One Championship. It is true that other teams have won without the former Red Bull designer, proving that everyone can be useful, but no one is indispensable. In this sense, Frederic Vasseur pointed out that since the beginning of his tenure, over 50 technicians have been hired from competitors, without the need to issue an official statement for each new collaboration, a way to show that Ferrari is at a standstill in terms of the technical market. Obviously, not everyone is called Adrian Newey, and Ferrari fans have now come to see the designer with a capital D as the only one capable of pulling Ferrari out of the quicksand of mediocrity after more than 15 years. Perhaps improperly, Fred Vasseur's credibility is tied to the Adrian Newey affair. There is also a different side to this story, which has emerged in the last few days after a report in the British media. Following widespread rumors about talks between Red Bull's chief technical officer Adrian Newey and Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur, BBC Sport F1 correspondent Andrew Benson has confirmed these did in fact take place. However, despite these talks reportedly progressing to the stage of salary negotiations, the British car designer was ultimately turned down by the Maranello outfit itself. There has been significant anticipation surrounding the future of Formula One's aero guru, as he concludes his final season with Red Bull, marking the end of an almost two-decade-long partnership with the Austrian team. Amid Ferrari's vigorous efforts to surpass Red Bull and following Lewis Hamilton's announcement of his move to the Red Team earlier this year, speculation has been rife that Adrian Newey's probable next destination would be Ferrari. However, something changed in the last few months, which caused the British engineer to be linked to Aston Martin. While Adrian Newey remains tight-lipped about his movements, in an F1 Q&A session with BBC Sport, Andrew Benson revealed the real reason why Ferrari had turned down the in-demand aero expert of Formula One. According to the BBC Sport F1 correspondent, Adrian Newey had mentioned in an interview with BBC Sport the previous November that the driver he most wished he had worked with was Fernando Alonso, although he believed the former Red Bull man had expressed similar sentiments about Lewis Hamilton. Regarding design chief Adrian Newey's future after his decision to leave Red Bull, it was reported that the chances of him moving to Ferrari had significantly decreased. Sources close to Ferrari informed BBC Sport that Chief Executive Officer Benedetto Vigna was hesitant about the high salary Newey commands and concerned that he would have too much power, potentially overriding the company's system. At the same time, Andrew Benson also mentioned that senior sources in the sport indicated Adrian Newey was actively engaged with Aston Martin, making it his most likely destination, though McLaren remained another possibility. Meanwhile, the British engineer was said to be undecided about where to go. For 19 years, Adrian Newey worked on Red Bull F1 cars non-stop. The Aston Martin Valkyrie hypercar was his first break from the continuous Formula One developments. Though the Briton has withdrawn from all F1 involvement, the RB17 hypercar, which Red Bull recently unveiled at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, is now occupying his time. Expressing his need for a break from the pressure-filled F1 world, the British engineer shared with The Times that it wasn't surprising when other teams showed interest after his announcement about leaving. However, he emphasized that he wouldn't make a quick decision about his future, needing time to decide if he wanted to return to Formula One, despite an impending deadline from Aston Martin. In June, Adrian Newey was reportedly sighted at Aston Martin's Silverstone facility, fueling speculation about his potential move to the Lawrence Stroll-owned team in the upcoming year.